Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's show, and we are going to be covering the consequences of contentment and really exploring that good and the bad of that. But I think really we'll kick off by pointing out, why this is going to be important or relevant to anyone watching today if you think about the consequences of contentment. And I think when we delve into what we're going to talk about today, it will really, or hopefully, offer that deeper understanding of, these complex emotions like contentment and really provide kind of like the platform for, reflection and your own personal growth as well, which is what we kind of push a lot with the show. It's all about you and your personal growth, and that's the really important thing. And possibly like challenge that social narrative of what actually is happiness. I mean, we tend to, Jim and I, when we talk about contentment as opposed to happiness. But what is that societal narrative of happiness? It'll allow you to look at that and kind of challenge it and look at the different explanations and things for all the different choices that we have. And then, like I say, obviously we could bring that right back and make it relatable to your real life experiences. And Jim and I will cover our own experiences, but if you're watching today and you've got your own experiences and things as well, please jump into the comments. Keep it interactive for us, guys. We are live. We'll try and answer as we go if we can. Sometimes we talk through quite a lot of stuff, so we'll try and do it at the end. If not, I'll always come back to you in the comments. But it's really good that we are live, and if you are looking to join into the conversation, jump in the comments and we will, of course, be happy to answer that as we go. So yes, consequences of contentment, exploring the good and the bad. People might think contentment and happiness is the ultimate goal, but then possibly not. So let's look at the flip side of that today, and really how that could contribute to having quite a healthy relationship with yourself and with others around you, with your job, with your whole journey. Because sometimes maybe excessive or misplaced contentment can probably hinder your personal goal or your ambitions. Would you agree, Jim? Too much contentment, possibly.
I think it's comfort zone.
Yeah.
I think that's what we're thinking about here. If you put it in layman's terms, it's really about comfort zone. Consequences and contentment. Yeah, you might be happy and all the rest of it, but are you in your comfort zone? And are you truly then happy or content with where you are right now because you're comfortable?
Too comfortable.
I kind of think I don't know, but I think it's maybe, I can't speak for women obviously because I am not. However, I can speak for men. I think, hopefully, but I think a lot of people I know are quietly discontented. And I think they're quietly discontented, are guys, because I think it's our ultimate aim to actually produce and be better.
To continually improve.
Kind of what, and I know it sounds. I'm not trying. I'm put it in real world terms. Why did guys go, running? Why do they climb mountains? Why do they break world records? And why do they do everything? And why do they want to do all these things? Why do they want career progression? Why do they want to be the boss of everything? All these different things.
Yeah,
and I think it's a DNA thing. That then takes me to think is the good and the bad is if you don't feel fulfilled, then is that the reason why some people end up with addiction habits?
To fill that void, yeah,
you've said it, you've nailed it, to fill that void. This is quite an interesting one, and that's why you said at the beginning the compelling reason why someone might actually find the show really good, because that's the sort of things we want to talk about. It's the nitty gritty. It's always it is the comfort zone, and the comfort zone is a dangerous place to be. And I know most people will think, but what's wrong with that? Your comfort zone. But then you're neither pushed by your circumstances or pulled by your dreams in that scenario. And the difficulty of that is do you end up then just doing nothing and just drifting along through life
without any clear, like achieving ambition and
without any goals?
Yeah,
without any goals then, because it's like, hey, yeah, it's like, is it the same with people that retire?
They just
Is it they
accept it now.
retire and they think,
Yeah.
yay, the honeymoon period on retirement, and they think, I've got my life back and I've got it all to myself and I've got an income coming in. It's not based on my ability to perform because I've got a good pension now. And it's like, yeah, okay, but how long's that going to last where you're with your contentment? You might be
Mhm.
euphoric and really happy in the beginning, but as time goes by, can you face it every single time doing
The
having
same
having
thing. Yeah.
everything?
Mhm.
It's like giving somebody what is it like? It's like someone going from nothing to winning £1 million on the lottery. Suddenly, money is no object anymore to them,
Which would change anyone's perspective.
and they focus maybe so much of their life on the acquisition of money or the lack of money.
Mhm.
All of a sudden, that has now disappeared. So what do they focus on now? Each other.
Well, that's funny you say that, because one of the things I wanted to like kind of kick off talking about was relationships, and whether that's your relationship with your partner or with the people you work with, or your job itself, or what you do day to day. Do you know the sense of contentment or fulfillment, and do you know that has an impact on how you are in your relationships? Do you know whether you're more tolerant about things, whether you understand things a bit better? Maybe if you've got that contentment and fulfillment in your life, you're maybe less envious of what other people have, because that could be quite a an impacting emotion that a lot of people have. They look at other people and compare themselves, and it makes them feel less adequate. And social media is such a big influence on that spectrum as well. So relationships are quite important.
You say that's quite a positive consequence of contentment is
Hmm.
enhanced relationships.
Hmm.
Um, Personally, I say I don't think it's recommended a lot of people should hang around with me for a long time.
And why would that be, Jim?
Because I know myself no better than anybody else. And most people will know themselves better than everybody else. And
Yeah.
and I think if we're going to admit it, I think if we're going to admit it to ourselves, even I think everybody's like this. To be honest, I'm maybe just singling out me, thinking, "Oh, it's just me." I don't think it is. I think most people, if you hang around with them too often, you begin to see some of the negative side of them.
Yeah.
And I don't mean it in a bad way. I just mean you see the side that you normally wouldn't see.
It's kind of
People
like
turn up to parties and they're the life and soul of the parties, and they disappear, and then the next minute they just go into a wee cupboard and they wait till come out for the next party, and then they play the life and soul of the party again, and everybody thinks this person's actually fantastic and great, but the reality is their life isn't that great to
yeah.
them.
Do you think it's kind of like they say, never meet your idols or whatever? Because
Mm,
they've got this persona that you see on stage and on screen and whatever. But if you actually meet them in person, they're possibly
absolutely.
quite different. Yeah.
Well, look at people like, for example, Brad Pitt.
Hmm.
Look at Brad Pitt or the films he's been in, the characters he's played. There's a wee bit there where you think that's what he's really like, but in reality, according to Angelina Jolie, he's not like that at all.
Nothing like that. Yeah.
But whether that's right or wrong, I don't know. But I kind of think not everybody is the person you think they are. I don't
Hmm.
think, and I think we all have our failings or our faults, as we are only human when it comes down to it. So yeah, the positive consequences about having contentment is, yeah, probably enhance relationships, but not too much
Yeah.
intense with each other. I think it's not a good thing to hang around with each other for a long time on long periods of time. I
Yeah. I
think it's
mentioned.
good. I think it's good that you go out and do your own thing in relationships.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely. I think that's really important. And I mentioned there about maybe possibly being less envious. And I think the social media influence and things as well. A lot of people do that nowadays. Is they look at what everybody else has got or what they're doing, rather than concentrating on themselves. And really, you should just cut out the noise, don't look at what anyone else is doing, even if they're in the same field as you. Do you know, you don't want to just replicate or copy somebody else. Do your own thing. Do you know, pave your own way, I think is something. I mean, I've done it in my own journey as well. It's like, I'm not paying attention to what you're doing. I'm not listening. I'll do my own thing and do it this way. I mean, I don't mean try and reinvent the wheel. Just stick to your own path, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the guy that pulls up at the traffic lights. The other boy looks at him in total envy because he's got a beautiful girl right next to him, and
Mm-hmm.
then he's got a beautiful car that he's in, and he seems like he's got everything. Life is good for him, and he's completely envious him. But what he doesn't realise is the girl is actually bought.
Yeah.
She's a
And the
streetwalker,
car's been
basically.
tipped.
The
And
guy's got a serious cocaine habit,
mm-hmm.
and the car's leased,
Yeah.
and he's in debt up to his eyeballs because of that. But he looks at him and says, "That's the life I want."
Mm-hmm.
So that's what envy does to you. Envy just destroys people. Envious of other people. When they become envious or jealous, it eats away at them. Envy is a poison, I would say, definitely. And it's not something to be desired at all. It's to get rid of. The world isn't about greed, really. The world now, today, because of social media, is all about envy. That's what the problem is now. It's not about greed. It's not about people being greedy. It's about people being envious of other people. I genuinely believe that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I would tend to agree. It's like, yeah, being envious of other people and always searching for that, you know, that kind of validation or the love for other people, you know, through their
Yeah.
reactions and things to what you're
But let's
doing or
get
what
back
you
on a
have.
positive note because we're talking about the
Yeah,
positives. What else do we kind of have to think about the positive things?
yeah. I mean, obviously that enhanced relationship, and then that completely positive outlook in general. You know, when you've got that contentment, it will foster that positive mindset, and having a positive mindset is such an important thing because if your mind's not in the right place, it could really hold you back. It will really hold you back, no
Mhm.
matter what you're trying to achieve. And I'm sure
Yeah,
you.
positive mindset is definitely, and it can be, it can be contagious. It's like it's a
Mhm.
classic example. I get most people for me, they always say to me, "You're always optimistic. You're always positive about things," and it's like, yeah, why not? I
Mhm.
don't understand any other way. Why would
Mhm.
you be negative all the time? There's always an upside to everything. There's always an upside to everything. It doesn't matter what happens. Oh, the economy's tanking. Great. Share prices will be lower. I'll be able to buy at a lower price to be able to compound for the future. There's always an upside. Definitely.
Mhm.
There's always an angle. There's always an upside. There's always an opportunity. Legislation, rent controls. Yeah, brilliant. Okay, we'll get guaranteed rents every single
Yeah,
year. Increases.
to look at the positive side of it. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the sort of thing. That's the sort of thing you have to embrace. You cannot do anything about it. Dale Carnegie, How to Stop Worrying and Start Living, is a fantastic book. Tony Robbins was actually trained by Dale Carnegie. I never
Really?
knew that. Yeah,
I
I never
never
knew that. I actually, but we'll come back to that. That's obviously because Dale Carnegie popped in my head. But How to Stop Worrying and Start Living was a brilliant book I read, and the phrase I always remember from it mostly is you change the things you can, you accept the things you can't,
Mhm.
and that's the positive outlook in everything. You change the things you can, you accept the things you can't change. And it's just one of these things. You can't change the government and what they do, taxation policy. So you just got to suck it up and plan for the future and make sure you're okay. You can't change anybody else's decision. You can't change a world leader's decision, a politician, or whatever. You can't change other people. You can't change other circumstances because they're possibly out of your control and you have no influence over them
You've
at
no
all.
influence over, yeah.
So why bother about it then? But everybody gets so uptight about it, and it does niggle me when people get carried away with this because I'm like, what are you arguing about? What difference does it make? You can't do anything about it anyway. It's you see it on social media a lot,
Politics.
definitely.
Politics is the
Yeah,
prime
you see
example
people
for it.
arguing, and I think the UK landlords page, the group UK landlords, there's about 70,000 landlords in there, but I tell you what, they're becoming less and less tolerant of people who actually start to speculate. It's the typical example about, they're going about, oh, what if this changes, what if that changes, and everybody just comes on and says, but nothing's happened. Glastonbury's worse for it as well. Kind of like, what acts do you think are going to be in 2027? And everybody's like, oh my God, are you a blooming idiot? It's like, that's 2 years away. Why are we bothering discussing this? So you get that sort of thing. So and that's really because these people have a positive mindset, and it's like, we can't do anything about it. So why would I waste all my time on it?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And it's like, because people do, you see it happening in lots of different scenarios, and they spend so much of their time and energy on something that's possibly not even happened yet, or might not even happen.
You'll go through 99 different scenarios about how of an outcome that could happen to a problem that you've got, but only one outcome can happen. So why would you worry about the 99 others?
Yeah.
But people put so much energy into that, and they spend so much time doing that. And I think that's why you have to foster a positive outlook and just be optimistic. And things will change, or things will get better.
Yeah, and having that kind of outlook and thought process about things will then, the next thing we're going to talk about is like reducing stress and anxiety and things. But if you don't stress about these things, you don't overly think these things through, and kind of just look at it logically, I think, which isn't easy for everybody to do.
First rule: don't sweat the small stuff.
Yeah.
Second rule is refer to the first rule.
Yeah.
Don't sweat the small stuff. It's like, who cares? What's it going to? It's not going to make any difference in 5 years' time. Tell me something. I don't think anybody could ever show me anything. Maybe something happened to them 5 years ago. It's been instrumental in changing their whole life. A minor thing. A small detail.
Like one thing, yeah.
Yeah, and 5 years later, has it really been that material? That thing that happened 5 years ago, but they were in bits about it at the time.
Yeah.
But now it's like 5 years later, it's like, well, okay, it'll probably for most people be the best thing that ever happened. Never realised it at the time.
Also, I mean, I found myself doing it, and it's only, I was going to say it's only natural, only human, but I think not natural, it's only human sometimes that we do get a little bit worked up about certain things. And I think if you just take that step back, and I think we've always said, this too shall pass. And I always say that to myself, because then I think when it comes to the next time and I start stressing or getting a wee bit worked about something, like, oh, this will just be like that. So let's just work through it. It'll pass. We'll get it sorted and move on. It's not going to
I've
have
been
a
doing
big
that with the landlords. It's like, obviously I've been lobbying and everything about rent controls and all the rest of it. I got my foot in the door. They invited me to come along. Suddenly Paul McLennan changed, retired, or left, resigned, and we've got a new housing minister, and therefore it's not happening. And I'm like, forget it. There's no point, because I'll never be able to change their mind. They're going to do what they're going to do, whether I like it or not. There's nothing I can do about it. So why would I get why would I get stressed about it? Why would I get totally anxious about it and get anxiety and all the rest of it? Which I was really frustrated and annoyed about at the time. But now it's like, let it go. It's kind of like Frozen. Let it go.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people, and like you're saying, even yourself there, Jim, when you started to maybe get a wee bit worked up about that, and then you've got the knowledge to think, no, wait a minute, I'm not going to get worked up about that. Let's just move on, or whatever.
I'm not going to be able to do anything about it.
No, that's out of your control. So why let it fester and go around in your minds? And
people do. It's normal human behaviour. It's like we're the only. I think we're the only species on the planet living that actually can have creativity and imagination in terms of how we do things, and we could make things up that don't even exist. Whereas an animal doesn't do things like that. We're the only species that does that. But that could be a blessing, but it also could be a curse at the same time.
Yeah, we've spoken about that before, where you create this situation or something in your mind, and you get so whatever, and it's not even actually happened. You've
Yeah, I
actually
know.
created it all in your mind. And I don't know, maybe you're going to a meeting and you're stressed about it, or something, and you've already played it all out in your mind, and it's like, and then you go and, oh, it was nothing like I thought it was going to be. That's because you created it all in your mind.
Well, you know yourself, in the past, I've had to tell people why I'm going to have a meeting with them
Hmm.
before I've had a meeting with them, because the
Yeah,
amount of scenarios that go through their head
but they
is
think it's going to
unbelievable.
happen. Yeah,
You know, I'm actually there to congratulate them and do something, and it's like, if I say I'm going to have a meeting with you, they're like, "Oh my god, the worst is going to happen,"
yeah.
and
What's
it's
going
like,
to?
okay, but and then when I announce, it's like, "Oh, well done this and well done that," and they're just gobsmacked. They're like, "Oh, I didn't expect that," and it's like, "Oh my god," It's like- but
Yeah,
people expect the worst.
hmm.
I don't know why. It's I don't know
As a
why.
very human like instinct thing to do that. That way.
I think it's an inbred thing
It's
from
being
our
doctored into us
culture,
something. Yeah.
but also our upbringing as well.
Hmm.
We tend to think the worst side of everything, in order to protect us, just in case it happens.
And that brings me to mind, do you know, and I've heard people say this actually quite recently, and I remember I actually used to think, but I don't agree with it now. It's like always expect the worst or think the worst, and then whatever happens, it can't be that bad. And I'm like, is that the
That's
best
the
way of
worst
thinking
thing
about
to
it?
do.
That's the worst thing to do. And I used to kind of think like
Because if
that.
you're going to get positive news every single time, and you're expecting the worst, you've gone through that in
Yeah,
your whole system has gone through that.
when you didn't
Everything
need
within you has actually had the negative experience, the negative emotion out of it, and therefore it takes its toll with stress, anxiety, pressure, all these different things, and yet it's not even happened.
yeah. I think the best bit of advice, probably from me anyway, is to take everything as it comes and deal with it as and when you need to, rather than letting your mind race away ahead.
Yep, easier said than done.
Oh yeah, I know that. Definitely.
But saying that as well, I mean, you know, if you're quite positive outlook, if you are a positive outlook, and it helps you and it reduces your stress and anxiety, then you have an increased appreciation for everything.
Hmm.
A
Yeah.
lot of the times when I post on social media now, I actually feel like putting an emotion about being thankful
Hmm.
or grateful or whatever it is, and it's like, and it's just small minor things. It's just small details to people, but it's like just the very fact that you're here when other people you know possibly aren't anymore,
Yeah.
and just the very fact that you've got an opportunity to experience something at that point in time, in that moment in time, that other people don't have, then you've got to appreciate that.
Yeah. I think the appreciation thing. I think, like you say, um, when you get to that point where you're thinking about people that aren't here, and you're still here, it does give you that different, that different outlook and that complete appreciation. It's quite hard to get there, but when you get there, it's quite good to have that increased appreciation and what you're doing.
Well, I've got appreciation for everything that's happened so far.
Hmm.
Anything that I've experienced, whether it's good or bad, I've actually appreciated it. Because at the time it was horrendous to go through, and maybe the stress, anxiety, and all the rest of it.
Yes.
But this is the 5 year thing. In 5 years' time,
Hmm.
will it matter? In 10 years' time, 20 years' time, or whatever. But then when you look back, you actually realise that that's what shaped and moulded you to be the success you are today.
Hmm. Yeah.
So how could you not appreciate that then?
Yeah, I think as well, and I think we get caught up, a lot of us, in day to day and what we're doing, and do you know what? I know I do, and then you kind of lose, you forget about the appreciation that you've got about all the time you've got to come and things you've got to do, and do you know, I lost somebody recently, and they're the same age as me, and it just made me think, God, when I think about where I am and what I've all still got to do and what I've got planned, because like I've got all of that in front of me, they don't anymore, and that's a real like wake up appreciation moment.
Hmm.
um, Definitely.
I would say so, yeah. So it does increase your appreciation, having that contentment within you.
Hmm.
Also, the things that it probably gives you, well, you've got it written here, stronger social connections.
Hmm. Yeah, I think when you've got an element of contentment, I mean, to be completely content I think, as an achievement. And I wouldn't say I am. I think you. I would assume you are for the most part, Jim, because you've went through a lot in your business and in your life, and you've got to a point where you're just so happy where you are and wouldn't change anything. To get there is an achievement itself, but even having an element of contentment in there makes you a lot more empathetic to other people, and it builds that then stronger connections with the people around you in your social circle, if that makes sense.
Possibly.
I mean, everybody had that outlook.
But contentment comes from within.
Mm-hmm.
And for me personally, I'm driven by the contentment of the fact that I'm still striving for something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I have to have something to strive for. I have to have something to achieve. I have to have something to accomplish. That's why I was talking about in the beginning. It's like it's that drive within us. It's the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, self-actualization. Not for appreciation from anyone else. I don't need appreciation from anyone else. I need appreciation from within. I need self-fulfillment. And that is a constant thing. It evolves over time. So I definitely think, but then if you're self-fulfilled yourself, you don't tend to mind anybody else that affects you.
Mm-hmm.
It's easy to brush that off because you're fulfilled within yourself, I would say. That's what probably gives stronger social connections as well, because then you become, I suppose you become more empathetic and easier listener to other people, and maybe it's easier it is easier for you to put a hand out to give them a help up, I suppose.
Yeah. Yeah, because a lot of people don't take the time to actually listen to other people. They're too busy in their own thing, and to actually take a step back and listen to what other people around you are saying.
Oh, nowadays, I think everybody's too busy with their own thing than to be able to concentrate on anybody else. But I think there's a lot of noise in there, a lot of noise, and I think the noise is considerable, especially due to the rise of the social media presence. It's to be able to switch that off. I mean, I noticed that a lot of people that are on their way or on their journey to success or extremely successful, they hardly engage with social media at all. They don't even take part in it. They don't even bother about it. They're not even sure what's going on in the world. They're just getting on with what they're doing
and blocking all that noise out.
Yeah, whereas other people are maybe not that content. They tend to concentrate on all the negative things and actually pin their colours to the mast on these things that are going on, like political situations, like wars as well. It takes sides, and it's like
things that are outside their control.
But it's no your war, and you can't do anything about it. But they take sides for some reason. It's like they need something to grab onto for a cause. And I think you have to watch out for that. If why are you doing it? I mean, veganism's a classic example, isn't it?
Yeah.
The rise of veganism. I mean, I'm a vegan, so I can easily comment about this. But see, there's a small minority of vegans who are actually ivory tower vegans. They use it as a social status to look down on other people, and it's like, really? It's like I do rub them up the wrong way sometimes, because I do point out the fact that it's no longer about the animal, it's about them.
Yeah, they've switched it from the actual purpose of being vegan to the status of being vegan.
And you can give a classic example for if any vegans are listening right now. I'll give you a classic example. It's all about you if that's the case, or it's all about the animal. Burger King comes out with a plant-based burger. If you are not going to eat at Burger King, specifically because they make burgers and meat burgers for everybody else, and you're not going to support them with a plant-based burger and try it or eat there, right? It's possibly all about you now.
Yeah.
Because you want to support them with a plant-based burger because it'll encourage them to make more plant-based products. Therefore, it will encourage people who are meat eaters potentially to consider the plant-based products
or even every so often
as an alternative, and that ultimately saves more animals. And that's right across McDonald's, all the different places and all the rest of it. That, to me, is a prime example. Now, even PETA, Protection of Ethical Treatment for Animals, even endorsed that as that policy as well. And the fact that it's, listen, if it encouraged them to make more and people to eat more that were normally meat eaters, then surely more animals are being protected and saved as a result of it.
You're absolutely right there, because I mean, I live with a vegetarian, but I eat meat. But because obviously I live with a vegetarian, there's so much more meals that I eat that aren't got meat in them, which I wouldn't. That is because
But you
obviously
wouldn't normally. See, there you
no,
go. Classic example then. And that's just a small. I mean, it's a small minor amount of people. You know, it's the ones that have pinned their collars to the mast, and they're right out there, like completely entrenched, fanatical, almost fanatical about the whole thing, about how the whole world should change to accommodate them because that's their belief, and everybody's a murderer in their opinion, and it's like, well, okay, but you can change it, the whole world, one at a time, you know. And that's all it takes. You can't change everybody all at once. That is a stupid policy, and it is impossible, because basically what you're trying to do is you're trying to you basically decimate industries as a result of that. But it's the same the other way around. You have the ivory tower meat eaters who are convinced it's all about eating meat. It's like, oh, it's really healthy for you, and it's like, no, it's no. But that's another story.
Do you know, I always feel it's great when people are passionate about things, but I think when it's something like that, when people pick up, like if it's somebody that's vegan, or like you say on the flip side, and they run with it so much and press forward with it in that manner, I think it says something about their mental state. Do you know, why do you feel the need
You've
to
got
go to this
that's the
length?
classic example.
Yeah,
I love it. I mean, I love it when you see all the haters.
yeah, yeah.
you just read all the haters, and it's like their comments. It's like, oh my god, you have got no education at all. It's just like you have no idea what's going on in the world. It's the same with Trump. I mean, I'm not a Trump fan, and everybody's having a go at him for what happened at the weekend about, oh, Putin, kind of all the rest of it, shaking his hand and going, well done, nice to see you, and all the rest of it. What was he meant to do? Kick him in the balls?
Yeah, I mean,
It's like, do you think that's going to get progress? You know, do you think that's going to get progress for ending the war in Ukraine? Absolutely not. So what was he meant to do?
Yeah. And at this stage, he's the only person that's got us to the point where, or the world, do you know, at somewhere further in
We're
stopping
ready to
the
talk.
war. Yeah.
So I'm not a fan, just pointing that out to everybody, but I
But
do
progress is
think
progress.
there's, in order to get diplomacy, you have to get some sort of, you can't be bitter about it all the time. I mean, IRA is probably a classic example about how that's all been resolved, and you've got the fanatical ones that are still there, but it's not what it was in the 1970s and 1980s, where they were blowing up England and places and killing people. It just doesn't happen anymore because Mo Molan at the time, who was a fantastic political negotiator, she brokered that whole deal to stop all that violence. So, you know, there's and it's going to be difficult because she had friends that were killed and maimed and all the rest of it. But that's the type of things you've got to do. Both sides were like that. You've got to come to some agreement at some point in time. Anyway, I'm not exactly sure how we got onto that.
That's fine. It's fine.
But
we
it's
did
quite good.
A bit there.
It is, but it is the things that come out of conversations, isn't it?
Yeah.
And social connections, improved cooperative, improved empathy, improved stronger social connections, more harmonious community about
everybody's
overall,
on that
and I think
page.
that's ultimately one.
Yeah, I mean, you'll never get everybody on the same page, but if you've got the majority in that kind of mindset and having that empathetic approach and things, you will end up with a lot more harmonious community. You see it in smaller communities across the country and things where people come together and they're all on the same page and they're all in the same mindset, and it is a lot more harmonious. When you start getting into bigger cities and things, it changes obviously, but yeah, harmonious communities is definitely the way forward, and the best way to do that is have that empathetic approach, definitely.
Another thing goes on to improve well-being.
Yep.
For everybody, stronger
Yep.
relationships, resilience,
Yep.
increased life satisfaction. All these
Hmm.
things. People live a lot longer because of their social connections.
Yeah.
Let me say that again. People live a lot longer because of their social connections. Health maybe helps you, exercise maybe helps you, eating the right stuff maybe helps you, but apparently, according to scientists and according to the world as it is now and what the thinking is, you live a lot longer because of your social connections, the
I
improved
would
social
totally agree.
connections you have.
With the right social connections, and like you say, it lifts you up. And when you're in that state of mind and feel like that, it actually does have a profound effect on yourself and your body and your health and things as well.
Yeah.
If you're not having those connections and feeling a bit down and things, you'll go the opposite direction. And it's
No,
been, I mean, there's
nobody
been a lot
wants
of studies
to
to
hang
that.
about somebody that's negative. When you think about the logic of that, nobody wants to hang about somebody that's negative about life.
Hmm.
It's like it's because they just pull them down. Some people do because they're empaths. You know, they want to sort people, and they feel sorting people fulfills their life. That's how they are.
Hmm.
That's like an empath. People that empathize with everybody all the time. They want to get down there with someone, but the problem is, don't let yourself stay down there with that person because you'll get sucked down with them. It's like it's all about getting them a hand out. You know, give them a hand out of that hole that they've dug themselves. Help them out. Help them see something better. Help them have a better future, and that's fine. But don't get down there with them.
Yeah. I mean, there is I did say we're going to talk about the good and the bad, and there can be a bad or a negative side to having contentment, and I think we touched on it just briefly, and we spoke about this in the past. It's, having that excessive contentment could lead to you having, a really lack of motivation and ambition, and could kind of hinder you. It's the thing about being too comfortable. Once you're too comfortable,
Who's the classic example in the limelight right now that had excessive contentment at the point in time? Robbie Williams.
yeah, okay,
Remember? I'm rich beyond my wildest
yeah,
dreams. £80
I don't
million
know, yeah,
contract he signed with Warner Brothers or the music company or whatever
mhm.
whatever that person was. And he was like, I'm rich beyond my wildest dreams. And then he sat down, and you can see it in the film. It's like he sat down and it was like, what do I do now?
What do I do now? Yeah,
Aye. It's like and that's what
lost
reduces your
that.
ambition, your
Yeah,
motivation. Because it's like you've got everything you ever wanted, because that's all you wanted. You've no thought about anything else after that. You've no thought about what mountain you're going to climb next, metaphorically, by the way,
yeah.
um, physically, depending if that's what you want to do.
Okay.
You've no thought about what you want to do next. Therefore, that's why it leads to reduced ambition and motivation. And motivation is the motive for action. So, what is your motive for action?
Yeah,
What
I
is it
mean,
you're wanting to do? What is it you're wanting to do next? What is it you're wanting to get involved in next? Hence the reason why I'm like, yeah, let's learn to dive.
yeah, let's do some,
I've
let's
got in my
do
mind, I've
something
got
new. Yeah.
let's learn to fly.
But it's these things. It's like, right, what's the next driver that's going to keep me going and
Of
pushing me
course,
forward? Yeah, the
let's
next thing,
learn to
concentrate
fly.
on.
Let's learn to play chess. Learn to play tennis. Let's play, let's learn to windsurf. All these different things. All these different things you ever wanted to do. Now's your opportunity to do it,
And
because you've
doing all these
now got
things.
the time, you've now got the money, because it's no longer reliant on your ability to perform.
Yeah, and like you say, people that maybe are successful and earn a fair bit of money and things like that, they will maybe just sit down and think, like, what do I do now? And like you say, well, think of things to do, and all these things all enhance your ability to develop skills in different areas, build your knowledge, and just generally your knowledge and life skills. All these things, because you're doing it as part of, as a driver, because you're doing it for fun, but or enjoyment, but it's
I
also
find it
benefiting you in a
I
lot of
find
other
it
ways.
quite interesting, because you go on a lot of the shows like you see a lot of the shows like Diary of a CEO,
Hmm.
and other shows as well, which I watch, and podcasts, and the amount of people on there who are respected people, by the way, that talk about the multimillionaires and billionaires that they know are extremely depressed.
Hmm. Yeah.
Sorry? You're what? You've got all that wealth and you're depressed.
And
That,
that's probably
but that's because there's for them there's nothing else to achieve.
yeah,
That's
they
all to
feel like
achieve
they've hit their.
wealth.
Mhm. And then that's where the saying, do you know, money doesn't bring you happiness will probably come from. But it's because they don't know what to do with the money once they've got
Also,
it. Yeah, yeah. But I mean, I think it's because a lot of people who maybe earn a lot of money or possibly win it or inherit it or whatever, they don't know what to do with it or themselves at that stage. Do you know?
remember
And
though, some people earn a lot of money, but their life is completely obsessed and controlled by it.
yeah,
They can't walk away. It's based on their ability to perform. That's why they're depressed and unhappy. That's the negative consequences of having all that money and wealth for some people, because they have to keep doing it to maintain that lifestyle. If they stop doing it, that's it. It's all disappearing.
just all
And to
falls apart.
them,
Yeah.
and what I call their status in the community, they don't want to lose that because everyone respects them now because of their status. And that's the difficulty that comes with wealth and being rich. That's the problem, or that's the challenge, I would say.
Yeah.
But once you get there, because you've no got any other challenges to do next, or you've got nothing else in the pipeline, therefore you start to lack motivation, ambition, and potentially hinder. It will hinder your personal growth.
Yeah.
And your development as well, and you'll end up probably regressing.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's like that reduced general motivation and the ambition and things as well. But also kind of the next thing we're going to talk about is like is that resistance for you to actually change. And sometimes if you've got to that point where you're very successful and you're quite content where you are and maybe really well educated and knowledgeable what you do, you're maybe then really kind of resistant to change or look at any other people's views on what possibly how things can be done differently. And it could
Look at
actually benefit you, but you're just kind of blindsided to like,
look at
no.
any position. Look at any position where people do not want to change.
Yeah.
And the reason they don't want to change is because it means they will no longer be as comfortable as they were before, or as wealthy as they were before. That's why there's a resistance to change. That's why no one wants to change. That's why no one wants to change the farming system and the livestock system. Let's just keep killing animals and putting more animals on the planet to kill and to eat. That's all.
Where
But
there's actually
and yet,
there are different ways to do it. Yeah.
yeah, they use 3 times more resources and antibiotics and water and all the rest of it. And there's 3 times there's something like there's double the amount of animals to feed the humans
Yeah.
than there is humans. So there's 30% humans, there's 60% animals on the planet. The other 4% is indigenous
Like wildlife.
wildlife and stuff
Yeah.
like that. It's probably smaller than that, actually. But when you think about the logic of that, no one wants. We all know that is the problem. We're using all resources like they're going out of fashion.
Yeah.
And that's not a sustainable model for 9 billion people to keep procreating from. And the 9 billion will never go down, by the way. It's a fact that the 9 billion will still continue to grow, and how quick that will grow, I do not know. But that means for every 1 billion more, you have to have another 2 billion animals. That's mental, eh?
It's just crazy figures when you think about it.
Where's all the crispy duck everybody eats on a Friday night? Where do they keep them?
I know.
If 1 million people ate crispy duck on a Friday night every week, then you've got to keep 1 million ducks, or 500,000 if
Yeah.
they've got half
Yeah.
each.
Yeah.
So, but then if they eat them the next week, how are you going to get another duck? Where are you going to have these other 500,000 ducks? So think about all the resources that are used. This is why there's a resistance to change, because the people that are making money out of that don't want to change it.
Yeah.
And they're the wealthy people, and the
Because to them
politicians
it's
have loads and loads of
a risk.
jobs. Remember, there's jobs in these industries as well, and that's why they don't want to change, because we don't want to affect these jobs.
There's too much risk involved.
That's why there's a resistance to change in the world. because it'll affect a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
That's why when it comes to putting in rent controls for landlords, it's like, yeah, it's only about 300,000 landlords in the scope of things for Scotland. Who cares? Like 6 million people, who cares? It's nothing compared to that.
Yeah.
That's how they're no bothered.
Yeah. Which is
Small
not the right
minority.
approach. Yeah.
It's the old Spock thing, eh? The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same when it comes to people that are wealthy. It's like there's less people wealthy than there is actually no wealthy. So therefore, it's like, well, the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. Let's tax
Mm-hmm.
them all. Take all their
Yeah.
money. Take everything off them. It's like, okay, who's going to run the business then?
Mm-hmm.
That's what resistance to change. That's how it
Yeah.
comes across. That's the negative consequences as a result of it.
Yeah.
People are resistant to change because of that. And then that ultimately comes into things like stagnation. It's you don't really grow. You sit in the same state all the time. You don't really reach your full potential, and then that's when you reach for this is
Yeah.
super juice,
No,
but that's when
but
you
no,
reach
you're
for the
absolutely
alcohol.
right. And I
That's when
think
you
the
reach for the
stagnation.
alcohol, the
Mhm.
cigarettes, and then you reach for the gambling to replace that feeling that you got before. That's why
Mhm.
you've got superstars that come off the superstar circuit because they're no longer Olympians, and then they fall by the wayside.
Mhm.
I don't know, some of the footballers, and then the next minute you see them, they're about like flipping 3 ton. It's like,
Yeah.
what happened? It's like they've
Yeah. The
just lost their complete
stagnation thing.
motivation.
Yeah, it's quite important because I think, because a lot of people are so afraid of making changes and taking those risks. If they're already somewhere relatively successful and they're comfortable there, but they don't realize that pushing yourself will allow you to probably propel yourself to another level, where you might even be more successful and more wealthy and whatever, or or whatever you're in whatever field you're in. But
There's
people are
always
just
another
so
level.
reluctant to do it. Yeah.
There's always another level, whether it's up here, whether it's along across here, or whether it's down there. There's always another level.
There's always that point of progression. Yeah.
Yeah, and that might be the level that could provide you with the contentment and the continuation of your contentment.
Hmm.
But you should never settle. You should never settle. Sometimes it's all right to settle in certain circumstances, but just watch for that. Watch it doesn't creep up on you, because that's what happens. It's the worst thing in the world. It's a we call it, is it a disease? A dis-ease. Disease is just dis-ease. There's something,
Right.
something no
Something wrong.
right. A dis-ease. But it's the worst thing in the world is procrastination
Hmm. Yeah.
or settling. Like, oh, that's it. I'm just
That'll
like,
do.
yeah, that'll do. I'm happy. Yeah, okay, you're happy. But you're not going to be happy all the time. There's going to come a point where you're going to be unhappy.
Hmm.
And I think I should encourage everybody to think about it. And here's a classic example. Anything you're going to do, the the decider. This is what I do now. The decider that makes me do anything is like if I'm lying on my deathbed and I think back to this decision. Right, this decision I'm going to make at that point in time. If I lie on my deathbed and I think back to that decision, will I regret it? No doing it if I'm lying on my deathbed. If the answer is yes, you will, then we're doing it,
Yeah.
whether it's going to work or no. If the answer is no, you won't regret it, it's like, no, there's no point. Just noise.
Yeah, that's quite. No, that's quite. It's quite a thought-provoking thing because if there's a lot of things if you looked at it like that, like, well, would I regret this? Yes, I would. Then why are you not doing it or giving it a go?
There's so many times I've listened to speakers from stage saying their driving force was listening to their father or their mother passing away on their deathbed and saying,
Hmm.
you need to go out and do this because
Hmm.
I regret not doing it. And that was the making of them,
Yeah.
because their mother and father said that to them. It's like the one thing I regret about life, and it's like, oh my God, I would hate to sit there and have
Yeah.
that
And
said
be.
to me.
Hmm.
It's like the one thing I regret. It's like, oh my God, why did you not do it then? So I would rather get to that point. I mean, you're not going to have a choice. You're dying anyway, so you didn't have any choice in this matter. You're going to be dying, and I think the last thing you're going to be thinking about when you are dying is like, oh, I wish I'd done this. But
Yeah.
I'm just saying, at this point in time, rationally in my mind, I kind of think to myself, if I get there and think, I wish I'd done it, I never want to hear that. I never want to hear these words coming out of my mouth
No, and I think if you've got,
when it's time to leave this planet.
yeah, I think if you've got that mindset and like you say, keep on pushing to do all these new things that you want to do, and you think if I don't do this, I'd regret not doing it. You more than likely get to the end of life and think, do you know, I'm glad I done all those things rather than I wish I'd done all these things.
That's what I was going to say. I
Yeah.
would rather get to my deathbed and think to myself, yep,
Yeah.
I've done my best.
Hmm. Which is a long way off for you, Jim, remember. Still
Yeah.
got plenty of time. Yeah.
I'm not even halfway there yet.
Yeah. Angela, thanks. Angela, jump in there. Life is short, seize the day. You're absolutely right.
Seize
So,
the day. That's an interesting one. Seize the day. What does it really mean? Just get on with it.
yeah.
Screw it. Let's do it.
And that's a bit, don't sit all day and procrastinate about something and then you get to tea time or dinner time, should I say, or night time and think,
I used to do it
oh,
years ago.
yeah, I'll do it tomorrow.
Every
Do
time
it
you had to make
tomorrow.
phone calls, it was like, like you have to make 20 phone calls a day. It's like, oh, they might be busy. They might be in the middle of something. They'll be upset. And all the excuses you used to give yourself why you weren't phoning them. I tell you what, I'll just wait till about 5 o'clock. And then by the time you were in their home, it's like, oh, they'll be home. They're just in for work. They'll be having their tea. I'll wait till after their tea. And then 7 o'clock came. It's like, oh, they'll be probably watching Coronation Street. They'll be really upset. I phoned them. So I tell you what, I'll wait till about 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. And by the time you waited till then, it was like, oh, it's too late. I'll phone them tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then you go, and you beat yourself up all the way through it.
Hmm.
So you're better just getting on with it and just lifting the phone and do your first phone call. And I tell you what, that is a great icebreaker for you. You get
Hmm.
into the habit then because you've done your first phone call. It's easier to do the next one, the next one, the next one. It's kind of just like jumping in the pool. It's like dipping your toe in, taking it out, dipping it. Oh, it's cold. I'm not going in there. Oh, it's cold. It's like, oh my God, just get in the water.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's why everybody, it's like when we go to cold water pools and cold water sauna, it's like I just jump in and everybody goes, holy shit, how do you do that? And it's like, I just like, hey, I'm just getting on with it. I can't be bothered anymore. It's like when
Yeah.
they used to, when I used to get films and stuff like that, you want an injection? And I was like, just get on with
Yeah, I do that as well.
it. It's like, no, you know
I
what, an
don't like being on
injection?
film, but yeah,
No,
no, I'm the
just get
same.
on with it.
Yeah.
And that's just, I think you get to a point in your life, you kind of think, oh, I'm just going to get on with it.
Yeah.
Somebody says, no, who cares?
Yeah, and
Next.
you're and yeah, seizing the day and just and not overthinking things and letting it, because again, procrastinate, hold you back, and like you say, you go through that whole day. I'll do it tomorrow, and more than likely you'll do the exact same the next day.
Yeah.
So don't
And then
fall into that. Don't fall into that cycle. Yeah.
it leads to complacency, doesn't it?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Just become completely comfortable, complacent with the whole thing.
Hmm.
And they fail to strive for any improvement at all. And I think that's another warning sign. It's like keep away from the booze.
Yeah.
Keep away from the cigarettes, keep away from the drugs, keep away from gambling, keep away from anything that's addictive.
Yeah. I think
Don't keep away
overusage.
from diving.
But
Don't
like
keep
you
away
said,
from
these addictive
climbing
things.
mountains. Don't keep away from running, swimming, and cycling. But you do see that, don't you? You see a lot of your friends now. They're becoming. They're striving for. They're wanting more out of life because
Hmm.
the signs are there. They start buying running gear. They
Yeah.
start buying a new bike. It's like that's what happens. You buy a new bike, it goes in the shed, and it sits there for the next 6 years.
Yeah.
That sound familiar, Richard?
I've done that before. Yeah. I still never ever used it. I sold it.
Great intentions.
Yeah. Anyway.
You buy a camper van and it sits at the back and you never really use it. You just thought it'd be great. You go through the experience about
Yeah.
how it'd be wonderful to have all these things. And it's like, remember, they're just things.
Hmm.
They're not people. They're just inanimate objects when it comes down to it. And that will probably not make you feel as fulfilled as you should be without the connection with other people.
Yeah, and the right mindset and the right
Yeah,
people.
I love going to the camper van and going to campsites and stuff like that, diving the next day. But you meet people, you have a wee chat with them. It's like, these are all the different things. Have everybody has a
Interacting
look at
people,
your
yeah.
camper van. It's like, oh, and then you have a look at their camper van. It's like, oh my God, I never knew you could do that. And then they come across and you go, I've got a problem with it. And it's like, next door, Gary, it's like, flipping it, you got a problem with the camper van. Right, let's come and sort it. And it's like, and we'll just sort it together. That's what it's for.
Social connection, yeah.
Of course it is. It's not for looting it or just piddling about. It's that connection you have as a result of it. So don't become complacent, because
Yeah.
complacency is probably one of the diseases you'll ever have. Disease. That's the worst thing you'll ever have. Complacency, downside, excessive content, excessively content, risk of becoming complacent. You lose your motivation. You lose everything. It doesn't get, it starts to go downhill.
Yeah.
This leads to depressed. There's depressed and there's depression. Now,
Yeah.
one is different from the other. Depressed, it's just like, I kind of just feel down for today. Depression is like chronic. It's like you're going to have to work hard to get out of this. That's when you go and see the doctor and he gives you the drugs, or she gives you the drugs, and that helps you over that because you've lost serotonin. You've lost the ability to create serotonin within your gut, which feeds your brain every day, and that's the fuel that keeps you
To feel
content
a
and
certain
happy.
way. Yeah.
Yeah. This is why people go on about the fact that, it's like, aye, because you probably lack of sleep, you've probably got a crap diet, you're probably stressed and anxious about everything all the time, and that leads to the whole cycle of depression.
Yeah. Do you know the sleep thing's such a obviously when you're younger and things you didn't really require as much sleep, but as you get that wee bit older and it's like you just realize I cannot function a day properly without the right amount of sleep. It just totally gets me.
And depression is really the next phrase that comes after that. It's time now to decompress. So depression, decompression. Just like in diving. Like if you've been down there too long, nitrogen, all the rest of it, and you get in a decompression tank and it brings you all back. And that's effectively what you have to do. You have to then start to decompress. That's what it's connected to. So that's what you've got to do next. You've got to take your time. Get halfway through your Hoover and you think, I can't be bothered anymore. Leave your Hoover where it is. Pick it up the next day and do the rest of it if you want. But just don't overexert yourself. Naturally heal. That's what it's all about. To decompress out of that. So all these things can lead to complacency, resistance to change, unfulfilled potential, ignoring reality and future risks. Excessive contentment might lead to ignoring potential risks, future risks or challenges, like impending economic downturn, stuff like that. All these different things.
Yeah,
Just about having that balance.
Yeah, definitely. I think balancing the things, we've covered the good and the bad, and people might not have thought that there was a bad side to contentment or fulfillment, but
sometimes I do think people think at all.
Yeah, that's possibly true.
They just let life take them where it leads. That's it. They let others make decisions for them.
Yeah. But I think if you find that right balance between your contentment and having that healthy desire to grow and improve while having the beneficial side of contentment, you can obviously have the bad side to it if you let it kind of take over, and like you say, complacency is such an important one, and have that stagnant point in your life where you feel like you've plateaued, then really you could actually go that bit further. There's always a good balance to find with anything, I feel, but we've hopefully demonstrated them today with contentment.
Perfect.
So we'll round it up there today. That was good, Jim. Thanks for all your insights, and thanks for everybody who's watching. Hopefully that did cover the subject and the way that we wanted to. I think it's good that people watch and get something from it as well as us just kind of talking through our experiences.
Yeah.
Okay. Right, we'll leave it there today. Jim and I will be back next Monday, 12:30 as usual for the Wealth Creation Show. And until then, we'll see you later.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye, Jim.